This isn't going to be a video of me shitting on the lifestyle, acting like it sucks, and all of these bad things that come along with it. If anything, at the end of this video, you're going to wish that you were doing this too. I've broken this video up into categories that you'll be able to see in the timeline, and each category into cons and pros. Category number 1, aka the category that I get asked the most questions about: living together. What has that been like? Both of us moved out of our parents' house into the camper. This is kind of all we've known with each other, which honestly has been awesome, but there are still some things that I know would be better if we were just living in a house. For example, you're living in such a small shared space, so we can't both really be doing the same thing at the same time. He can't be doing the dishes and then I'm cooking, because we'll be bumping into each other. The second con is that there's only so much space. Having 2 people means that there's double the amount of stuff. So it makes the amount of space that you have for storage feel like half. So the third thing, and I just want to say this to like close off the cons, is it is still a major adjustment living with each other in such a small space. There kind of comes a point where you need to say, I need 20 minutes by myself or I'm gonna lose my shit. And then you're like literally right next to each other. So it's like, okay, I'll go take a walk so that you can have your alone time. Now for the pros that definitely outweigh the cons for this category. The pros of living together in this lifestyle is that we are splitting the cost for everything. That is awesome. I don't think that financially I would have been able to afford this lifestyle by myself for longer than like 6 months. The second pro is that sharing memories with each other is really fun. Being able to both have our own journal entry, and it's like 2 different perspectives, but we both did it together. I never imagined myself doing this lifestyle with another person. Honestly, people thought I was nuts. There's something really special about knowing that like we're together and we get to have the same memories and share them and have them forever together. That's really awesome. And then, you know, going through this really sketchy thing and being able to be like talk shit after and be like, wasn't that weird? You're the only ones that get it. And all of these awesome things that you get to share too. Like that's pretty sick. The last pro is that sharing the load of chores is really nice. And I think that that is just generally in a house even, it's nice to have another person to share the load with. Not having to dump the shitter on my own every time is nice. And even doing the dishes, like I don't have to cook every meal and then also do all of the dishes. That is really awesome. Category number 2 is national parks. The reason that I wanted to do this lifestyle wasn't because I wanted to see all of the national parks. I want to share a couple of cons and pros that I think come with going to national parks. So con number 1 is that it feels very competitive for campers. We're able to fit in a normal sized parking space, so that's not really like that big of a deal unless someone's parking like an idiot. Camping, like where you're gonna stay after you're done hiking for the day, you'll be on this long dirt road and there's campers in every spot that you could stay. It's almost inconvenient enough that if I were you, maybe I would want to pay for a campsite. The second con, and this is obvious, is that there's so many people. There are so many people. It's insane. Zion was so insanely busy. We would get to the parking at like 5:30 to 6:30 in the morning and like go back to bed and then be woken up by multiple car alarms going off, people yelling for parking spaces. Like if you're trying to get outside, that doesn't really feel like you're getting outside. Being at the trailhead feels more like I'm in a really nice resort than I'm actually outside. It's expensive. Like if you're trying to live on a budget, especially in this lifestyle and with the gas prices, going to national parks and especially places like Zion might not even feel like a thing that is financially possible. And I feel like that's obvious. It's a very touristy area, so they're gonna charge whatever the heck they wanna charge. What are you gonna do though, you know? And you need permits for some of the hikes. Living in Pennsylvania, those don't really exist where I live, not that I know of anyways. They cost money and they're a lottery system. But it's not the end of the world because there's so many other beautiful hikes at these places. Like it's still worth going and doing the hikes. Now for the pros. It is worth seeing. I mean, Zion and Sedona were breathtaking, and we saw some of the coolest stuff that we've ever seen and met some really cool people. So even though it's a very exhausting 3 days, because you're trying to get the most out of it that you can, it is so much fun, and it's so worth it for the experience that you have there, and even like the stress of finding parking is kind of fun at the end of the day. It keeps you in shape. We don't do a lot of hiking other than in the national parks. We've gotten to see so many national parks, like almost, I think 5 in the past month. It's just wild. It's wild how many there are. Low-key, we could have just skipped one and still felt very successful in our travels through Utah. That's been really awesome. So many great stories to tell, and it's only been a month. Category number 3, and the second most common question I get, is always about dumping, aka where do we poop? So we have a wet bath in here, which is awesome, but when you go to the bathroom, it goes into a black water tank. And that black water tank fills up like at least once a week. It's not that bad. I'm really the only one that uses the toilet, to be honest. Having to dump is probably our least favorite chore. It takes the longest and it is the grossest. The biggest con is that we have to be very conservative with our water usage, especially doing the dishes. Like, we use spray bottles. We go through a lot of paper towels because of this method that we decide to use. We can use water from the sink. We just don't, because then we'll have to dump more often. So yeah, as far as dumping goes, those are like the biggest inconveniences. The pros, however, I don't think I can express to you how nice it is to have a bathroom. Having a bathroom, you go from roughing it to luxurious. I did a lot of truck camping and car camping just generally without a bathroom, you know, like the typical map setup. Like peeing outside, going to the bathroom outside, showering outside, nothing new to me. However, it was always the worst part. And I always almost found myself drinking less water because I did not want to have to go outside and use the bathroom every hour. Now having a bathroom, I don't think I could ever not have a bathroom. But let me just paint a picture for you, you know, no toilet picture. You're sleeping at a Walmart. You need to use the bathroom. You can't go inside, they're closed. It's not a 24-hour Walmart. You're gonna need to like pee in a cup or piss on the concrete. Maybe as a man, that's okay. But as a woman, that's just like, that's not something that I want to have to do. And then you're like fully exposed to the rest of the parking lot. It's like, I don't really care. It's not that big of a deal. It just is nice to not have that concern. And having a shower has been awesome. When I do feel dirty, like I'm able to take a shower. Category number 4, organizing. The biggest con with organizing in the camper is that these cabinets are not made to be organized. They are basically just big boxes. We had to put in shelves, which was a little difficult because the walls are like, they're very thin. We spent a lot of time figuring out how we're going to organize, and we are still struggling with it because of that, like what I just said. And the back of the truck is so disorganized. Like, the reason I haven't done a tour for the camper yet is because we are not organized. It's been a month now and we really need to, like, you know, wrap this stuff up. But that means that you guys can probably see an organizing video in the near future, because I love a good organizing video. For the most part, like, we've run out of space, like floor space, you know what I mean, to put stuff. It's honestly fine. It stopped us from buying more things, and I can't really complain about that. The pros of organizing is we have less stuff by default. And so it's a lot easier to organize. Because it's easier to organize, we know exactly where everything goes. And by organize, I mean just what I just said. We know where everything goes and everything kind of has a spot. Okay, the last category is a miscellaneous category, but it's also kind of like a truck category just in general. So the worst part, I think, about driving around the truck camper is that wind is a very big factor in driving. Driving through Texas and Oklahoma was genuinely terrifying at some points. You just kind of like wiggle around a little bit. You sway around, you can feel it. You can feel like the gusts of wind that feel like it's stopping you from moving forward. The only thing that would ever make me want to downsize is that factor. And it can make what should have been an easy driving day a very difficult, you really need to lock in type of driving day. And it's just because it's so big. Like, it's just like driving around a wind sail, really. Like, that's what it is. The miles per gallon is bad. It's like 9 to maybe 12 miles per gallon. To an average person, that's terrible. I mean, people travel in buses. People travel in ambulances, ambuli. People travel in Sprinter vans, which are almost just as bad. Maybe the newer ones are a lot better in miles per gallon, but I'm not buying a new Sprinter van. Because we went this route, I still do feel like we saved money even though the miles per gallon's not that great. The fridge is finicky. Today it is high of maybe 50, 60 degrees. Like, I know that my fridge by the end of today is going to be, and the entire thing is a freezer. And on a hot day, like in Arizona, everything was fine for the most part. Crank that baby up and everything's good. You know, it's okay. I'm glad we have a fridge, and we have such a big fridge. We've never once had to be like, are we gonna be able to fit all this food in here? Because we always do. Now, the last pros category. So excited for this one because I can just like talk about how much fun it is living in a truck camper. Having everything that you need with you all the time is so sick. Like, it's so much fun. Like, just picture it. You arrive at a national park between 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. and you go to bed. And you go to the bathroom at the national park and everybody's in all of their hiking gear and you're in your PJs. You eat breakfast in the national park parking lot, watching everybody get ready, hearing the horns of people fighting for parking. And you're just like, you're having your coffee in the national park and you're able to sit out there and like look at the view. I get paranoid sometimes about that factor because theft is a thing that happens, but anybody could rob me in my own house. So you kind of like, you can't completely live in fear. So far, everything has worked very well. So many people before we left tried to, I don't know, just like make me scared and be like, oh, but you're not ready. You don't have this, this, and this. I'm sure that there are things that have happened that would have really freaked a regular person out, and they just don't faze me, and I don't even remember them because it's not really the end of the world, and nothing really bad has happened yet. It's only been a month, so like I could bite my tongue in a week. I think that's also a pro of living in the camper and not living in a van. People who live in vans often run into a lot more problems, either because they're self-built, no offense, because they're like a Mercedes or whatever, Dodge Ram I think it is, and those just notoriously have problems. Or just because if you can't fix it, somebody else probably also can't fix it because custom built things are just not as easily fixed, and that's just how it is. But this camper, even though it's vintage, there is still always somebody somewhere that knows something about how to fix it. So if your concern is kind of that you are afraid of all these bad things happening, it's really, like, I don't really think that you have much to worry about. Even if all of our water stopped running and the toilet didn't work, God forbid, it would still be okay. Like, we still have somewhere to sleep. This is the perfect amount of space for 2 people. Mind you, neither one of us are like huge. And I'm not talking fat. Like, neither one of us are over 6 feet tall. Like, I wanna give solid advice or like solid information. I do want you to also take that into consideration. I never feel like it's too small. And anyone that ever comes in here is always like, oh my gosh, this is so much bigger than I thought it was gonna be. That like is true. It is pretty big. And there was a time where I considered a van that you couldn't stand in. And I can't believe that ever even crossed my mind, honestly. So much space in here. I mean, this might not feel like it to you, but so much space. Starlink is amazing. We use it all the time. It's always plugged in. We use it while we're driving. We use it while we are just sitting somewhere. If you're the type of person that likes to be without service, I think that it could kind of bum you out having a Starlink because you're never really off the grid. It makes it really easy to stay inside. The last pro, and what I'm gonna wrap up this video with, is that one of the biggest upgrades and the best thing that we did for this camper was we switched out the batteries with lithium batteries and we added 4 solar panels on top and we added a transfer switch. The transfer switch was something that a friend actually helped me install. If you're watching this, hey, thank you so much. I am so thankful that we took the time to do that and we invested. We would have to use the generator all the time, 24/7. We have only had to pull the generator out twice. We are able to run the Starlink almost 24/7, charge all of our laptops, charge the cameras. We don't think about our energy usage. Like, that's how awesome it's been. Anyways, that is all for my 1-month recap of living on the road. Stay tuned for an organizing video and then a tour. I want to do one, I really do. I'm just not really feeling there yet. I know this was a long one, quite a chatty video, but I really appreciate you sticking all the way to the end. Comment down below any questions that you might have and I would love to answer them. Stay tuned for more videos. Don't forget to subscribe. Peace out.